Hey everybody, Zanthalar-Gaming here. Today I'm coming to you with a Bomblade build for the Elder Scrolls Online. This is as of the Horns of the Reach patch. So let's jump into it. So for starters, let's look at my attributes. These are fully buffed. I have approximately 42,000 magicka with 1,549 recovery. I have 24.8k health and 10,000 stamina. My spell damage fully buffed gets up to 4,581 with approximately 47% crit chance and 9,201 spell penetration. So fairly decent combat statistics there. As far as gear goes, I am using 5-piece Vicious Death, 5-piece Clever Alchemist on the back bar. I am using 3-piece Willpower in addition to those two sets. Make sure you gold out your weapons. Everything else can be epic, but as you can, make sure you gold out your everything that you can. You can't gold out the jewelry, but you can gold out all the body pieces and the weapons. As far as champion points go, I am CP 482, so I'm not actually max CP at this moment. My champion point setup can be seen right here if you wish to copy it, but that is what I run. Okay, so let's jump into the bars. So I have my, this is my first bar, my tether bombing bar. I'm running with Lotus Fan. This is a great gap closer, gets you in, does a little bit of AoE damage. Pretty nice if you need to close the distance. I have concealed weapon here for the extra invisibility speed, and I use the critical strike morph, shadowy disguise for invisibility. That way I can get more critical strikes off the initial burst. And then I use Sap Essence as my main spam after I have gone through my bombing rotation. And I have Mage Light here for the extra max magicka as well as the crit strike chance, in addition to the Mage's Guild perk that after you cast it you get an extra damage boost. And then on this bar I have Soul Tether for Soul Tether bombing. On my back bar, I use Proxy Detonation. This is an awesome ability, pretty much the bread and butter skill of bombing. You would queue this up. It has an 8-second duration, so you queue it up from a place of line of sight so they can't see you before you run in and blow up, basically. I like to have Concealed Weapon and Shadowy Disguise on this bar as well, just because Cyrodiil can be kind of laggy sometimes, and bar swapping can be very difficult to pull off, so this is just for ease of play, as this build is pretty much only for bombing. And then I use Merciless Resolve for the extra 8% damage done. That's pretty much it. You just buff up with this and retreating maneuvers before you'd run in. And then I have Destro alt right here. I have Flame. It stays on top of my character for about 7 seconds. This is for like Zerg bombing, or if you're running in a group more so. I prefer Destro alt when I'm running in a group. I prefer Soul Tether when I am running solo for bombing. As far as potions go, I use the Alliance Spell Draught. It's a pretty easy, cheap potion to get your hands on. You could also use the Critical Strike, Spell Power, and Restore Max Magicka potions as well that you can craft with Alchemy, but these tend to work really well for tether bombing, I should say. I don't actually have any on me at the moment, but for Destro bombing, you're going to want a Potion of Immovability, so that way you don't get CC'd when you're Destro bombing. And then for food, I prefer personally Wishmother's Potent Brew, just because I will stay in stealth a lot with Shadowy Disguise, and it takes a lot of mag regen to be able to spam this. The other food you could use is just plain old blue max magicka, max health food. It'll get you a little bit more damage on your initial burst, so if you can make it work with lower recovery, that's probably a better option for damage. But if you need the recovery, or if you're just learning to bomb or something like that, the recovery is extremely useful, so I would recommend Wishmother's Potent Brew. Another build I like using a lot is the Spinners build version for bombing. Now for the Spinners build, you're going to use 5-piece Spinners, you're going to use 5-piece Vicious Death, and you're going to use a 2-piece Grothar Mask. The Vicious Death set is only active on your front bar, so you will want to make sure you're on your front bar at all times. Actually, I think Vicious Death is only active on front bar on both specs. This spec has a little bit different attribute setup, so you've got a little bit more max magicka than you would on the Clever Alchemist build. And the magicka recovery is just a little bit higher as well, but you do have lower health, about 3,000 health lower. Stamina is roughly the same. Spell damage is also lower. My spell damage fully buffed in Spinners in Stealth is 3,389. My crit remained the exact same at 47.8%, and my spell penetration jumped by quite a bit, a little over 3,000, up to 12,651. I have not changed my champion points for this setup. You can if you'd like to get a little bit more spell pen, as that is the benefit of Spinner's Bombing, is that you are going to be hitting heavier armored targets with this spec. It's a little bit stronger in that respect. That's pretty much it for the attributes. The bars didn't really change much. I use all the same skills that I would with the Clever Alchemist setup. I use the same potion setup, Alliance Spell Drop for Tether Bombing, and Immovable Potions for Destro Bombing. I will say I feel like the Spinner version of bombing is a little bit stronger for Eye of Flame bombing than it is for Soul Tether bombing. Soul Tether, you really want to stack that burst, and so I feel like Clever Alchemist is stronger for Soul Tether bombing, and Spinners gives you just a little bit better penetration. Although, something to say about the Spinners build, the spell penetration is absolutely useless against targets that have shield stacked. So when you're Destro bombing, and you can react to a Destro bomb. There's like a few seconds there where you could cast a bubble, or you could use the bubble ults, or Templar or Warden can use their ultimates for healing, and you can pretty much counter Eye of Flame that way. So that's the only downside that I can see to Destro bombing, and especially with Spinners, is the extra spell pen does you nothing against bubbles. Other than that, Spinner set is pretty decent. The nice thing about the Spinner set is you can get gold Vicious Death jewelry, which allows you to run full gold on everything. With the Clever Alchemist set, there is, as far as I know, there are no gold jewelry for willpower, so you have to deal with an epic set on that version. I want to go over rotation with a Bomblade. It's fairly standard, but there's a couple of things you need to know about it. So first and foremost, to bomb effectively, you need to be not seen. You need to be in stealth. You can either be hidden, or you can use your invisibility to stay hidden. This is very important, as you want to keep track of your raid, you want to keep track of who you're going to bomb, and you don't want them to know you're coming. Bombs are most successful when your opponents are unaware of your presence. So, for the purposes of this, we're going to say that there is a big Zerg of players that are sitting here repairing the door. This door is already damaged a little bit, but we're going to say they're all stacking here, they're doing their repair kits, sitting here doing this. So here's what we're going to do. You would not come in here and then cast your buffs. That would be a waste, because they would see you and instantly kill you. Instead, you're going to find a position where you are completely line of sight, and they have no idea that you're going to be coming. So if they're there, sometimes I will go here, other times I will go right over here on the wall. Then they can't see me. Alright, as far as the rotation goes, what I like to do, make sure you have your correct potion slotted if you're running Clever Alchemist, or any build for that matter. You're in stealth, you're LOS, you're hidden behind a wall. First, I like to cast my buff, Merciless Resolve. You get that up for the 8% damage. It's got a 20-second duration. Another reason I like to cast this first is that sometimes when you're moving around, you're in stealth, you may be sneaking, and your stamina is going to be a little bit drained. So by sitting here waiting and casting that first, you give yourself a little bit of time to get that stamina regen back. So once you've got that cast, then you're going to hit, what is this, retreating maneuver. You get retreating maneuver up for the extra 30% speed. So now, right now, I'm currently in stealth, and I'm moving at approximately normal speed plus 30% from retreating maneuvers and 25% from concealed weapons. I'm moving at 55% speed. I am fast. We're moving fast here. So you get your Merciless Resolve up. You get your Rapids up. You cast your Proxy Det and Potion at the same time, and then you stealth immediately after. Then you time it, you run in here, you bar swap, and you would blow up. And you time it all right with your Soul Tether. So I'm going to go through and do it real quick so that you guys can see what it looks like to do it quickly. And you could also do this with Destro or Soul Tether, either one, whichever you feel up to doing. I much prefer Soul Tether when I am solo bombing, and I much prefer Eye of Flame when I'm with a group. So either way, just make sure you figure out which bomb you want to do, and go from there. So potion's almost off cooldown, so I'm going to wait for the potion to be off cooldown, and we will go through the rotation kind of fast. Okay, so let's set it up. There is a group repping this inner door, and we're going to hit them fast. Alright, we're stealthed back here, they're repping, you maybe have 15 seconds before they're done repping. You come in here, you get your buff up, you get your other buff up, you proxy and potion, you immediately stealth. You're running, you got 4 seconds, 3 seconds, cast Major Light, 2 seconds, Soul Tether, explosion at the same time, sap essence. If that did not kill somebody, they are extremely tanky. But you time that all just right, and you're gonna have Vicious Death instantly cascade on everybody. If you were gonna do this with a Destro ult, you do the exact same rotation. You'd come up here, you'd get stealthed, you'd hit Merciless Resolve, get your rapids up, proxy det, potion, invisibility, get this up, Mage Light, hit Destro ult, switch bars, and just start sap essence. And you will slowly but surely kill most of them with that. So there's a little bit more bar swapping involved with Destro ult on this specific setup of how I use my bars. But that's pretty much the rotation of bombing.